Hello, hello. I'm Juliana Hever, the plant-based dietitian, and this is the What Would Juliana Do Q&A. Today, I wanted to talk about 6 nuggets for National Nutrition Month. March is National Nutrition Month, and I have, as you know, very strong opinions about nutrition and the direction in which I want the ideas of how we eat to change. And so I try to summarize it in a tweet. And of course, you're limited in characters in a tweet. And I had so many questions that I thought I'm going to flesh this out and elaborate on all of these 6 different points because I think it is so important. The first one is to make half your plate fruits and vegetables. There's no arguing about this. There's an enormous amount of evidence showing the importance, the very much importance of consuming more fruits and vegetables. And the problem is that most people do not. So we want to make half your plate fruits and veggies. That is probably the number one most helpful tip you can do, most healthful habit that you could incorporate into your day-to-day life. And I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it highly enough. The second thing is to eat as whole as possible. So people eat a plant-based diet, but I want you to get back to as whole as possible. The least refined, the least processed you go, the better. You want to go to as close as nature as possible because then you get all of the fiber, all of the nutrition intact, and you're getting all of that to come in, and you're not getting rid of all the other stuff, increasing calorie density and decreasing nutritional profile when you get more and more refined or processed. The third point is, this is probably the most controversial for a lot of people, especially my fellow dietitians, is to stop counting calories. We try to micromanage our calorie intake, and it can be mind-bending and exhausting and frustrating, and it just doesn't help. I did so for, 30-something years, and I realized, oh my gosh, it doesn't matter. And that's why what I teach with my clients and my weight loss support group and all the people I work with to use mindfulness, go within. When are you truly hungry, and when are you satisfied enough to stop and not overeat? This is important for all sorts of things, not just weight management, but it's important because we want to know what our body is, we want to be in touch with our body and stop using these exogenous sources, these external forces out there to determine how much and what we eat. Our body has so much wisdom, we don't give it credit for it. We don't need to micromanage it. Stop counting. You don't need to count anything. You just need to eat whole plant foods, eat when hungry, and stop when you feel satisfied. The fourth tip is that, here's my most controversial one, perhaps more than calories, carbs, proteins, and fats are irrelevant. They don't matter. Please see my video on macro confusion. Completely irrelevant. And we are so confused, and we sit there and count carbs and protein and fat. We have ratios, and what's a perfect ratio? Well, the truth is there is no such thing. And you can watch my video on macro confusion, read my books. That's what I talk about. It's totally irrelevant. Eat food. Eat vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, mushrooms, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices in infinite tasty combinations. The macros don't matter. My fifth point is that no diet is perfect. No diet is perfect. Even the one that I espouse and love and shout from the rooftops about every day, the plant-based diet, it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. We don't live in a perfect world, and it's not about perfection at all. So I always say to mind your notable nutrients. And there is a video I have about notable nutrients that you can look at, all the ones that stand out in a plant-based diet. But even though a standard Western diet, not ideal, not perfect at all. There's always something. You just want to be mindful and conscientious about how you eat and your nutrition overall. Just be aware, just get information, empower yourself with information and education. My last tip, I had to take notes obviously, is to get the most nutritional bang for your caloric buck. So again, I don't want you to count calories. I got some comments about that, but I want you to think about infusing as much nutrition into your day as you can with those meals that you have. So that's the way to do that, is to eat whole, so you're getting all of that intact nutrition, and to not worry about that, and to get a variety of the vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, mushrooms, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. Now, I use the way I use this as a mnemonic to prioritize these foods is the 6 daily threes. So you can see my video on my website, in my books, I talk about the 6 daily threes. So I won't go into that too much, but those are a way to prioritize and think about food. I'll just tell you off the top. One is legumes, one is nuts and seeds, one is leafy green and cruciferous vegetables, one is other colored vegetables, and then fruits. So those are all very, very important to incorporate in your everyday diet. So I hope that helps. Those are my 6 nuggets. Thank you so much for your comments and questions. please keep them coming in the comment section below via direct message or my website, plantbaseddietitian.com. You can find out more at my website about my nutrition services, my weight loss support group, and my new podcast, the Choose You Now podcast. I hope you'll join me there, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.